Well, good evening and welcome to our newscast for this Friday. Yes, this Friday the 13th. The biggest numbers in the new budget narrowly passed Thursday afternoon when the Budget and Finance Committee met for the second time this week so far. Reports coming into WLAF from the courthouse are that the $47 million school budget was approved by the committee with a 7-5 vote yesterday evening. Now, the 7 yes votes were cast from David Adkins, or by David Adkins, Marie Ayers, Johnny Bruce, Alvin Evans, Rusty Orrick, Steve Rutherford, and Bobby White. The 5 no votes were cast by Charles Baird, J.L. Davis, Beverly Hall, Thomas Hatmaker, and Scott Stanfield. Absent were Sue Nance, Terry Singley, and Bob Walden. Now, once the total county budget is finalized, the school budget then goes before the full commission for the official vote. That's still a few weeks away. The Budget and Finance Committee meets again next Tuesday at 5 as the budget process continues. Well, regardless of when you decide to vote, you'll need your photo ID. That's a valid state or federal photo ID, and your driver's license may be your best bet. Early voting began at 9 o'clock this morning at the Election Commission office at Jacksboro. In Jellicoe, the early voting polls opened at the Municipal Building, City Hall, just a while ago at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You may early vote until 7 tonight at both locations. And last check with the Election Commission office at Jacksboro, more than 200 folks have voted so far as of airtime today in the election, the early voting, day 1. And the folks there say that they were thinking that it might have a heavier turnout today. It's not been a heavy turnout, but they do call it a good turnout today. Now, here's the rest of the schedule for early voting. For Monday through Thursday next week, it's 9 to 4. Friday 9 to 7 like today, and then Saturday from 9 to 1. That's at Jacksboro. Now, Jellicoe at City Hall, you may early vote from 9 till 2 on Monday through Thursday, Friday 2 to 7, and then Saturday 9 to 11. By the way, Election Day is coming up Thursday, August the 2nd. The more than 22,000 registered voters in Campbell County will vote on 2 countywide offices. One is the road superintendent race between incumbent Dennis Potter and challenger James Scott Evans. The other countywide race pits incumbent property assessor Brandon Parton against Clark Ford and Tony Kitts. There are 3 contested school board matchups. In the 1st district, Danny Wilson is challenging incumbent David Lynch, while in the 2nd district, incumbent Homer Rutherford is challenged by Clifford Kohlmeyer. And in the 5th district, Elsie Crawford challenges incumbent J.L. Sarge Collins. 3rd District incumbent Johnny Burge is unopposed, as is School Board Chairman Mike Orrick, who represents the 4th District. Now, that's the local portion of the county's general election. In the state primary elections, Ken Yeager is unopposed as he runs for a 2nd term as the 12th District's state senator. Incumbent State Representative Dennis Powers of the 36th District and James Virgil Kidwell meet in the general election November the 6th. Powers, a Republican, and independent Kidwell are unopposed in the primary. Now, with the realignment of the districts, Campbell County will have 2 congressmen come January 1st. On the north side, Democrat Troy Christopher Goodale is unopposed, while Nick Sapparo, John Duncan Jr., and Joseph Lineweaver Jr. vie for the Republican nomination. That's in the 2nd District. Now, on the south side here in Campbell County, there are 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the 3rd District primary for Congress. On the Democratic ticket, it's Mary Hedrick and Bill Taylor, while the Republicans are Ron Bala, Chuck Fleischman, Scotty Mayfield, and Weston Wamp. Incumbent U.S. Senator Bob Corker leads a long list of Republican challengers, including Fred Anderson, Mark Twain Clemens, Brenda Leonard, and Zach Pozekvitz. The Democrats for the U.S. Senate are Mark Clayton, Larry Krim, Gary G. Davis, David Hancock, Park Overall, T.K. Owens, and Benjamin Roberts. Now, elsewhere, there are 2 criminal appeals judges on the ballot, Jeffrey Bivens from the Middle Division and Roger Page of the Western Division. You will have a chance to vote to retain or replace both of those judges. Again, early voting runs at Jacksboro and Jellicoe till 7 o'clock tonight. Well, an odd twist in a case involving a local fugitive. Kentucky State Police verified that Anderson County fugitive Shannon Renee LeFew was killed in a car wreck on I-75 late Thursday morning. The fatal crash happened just inside Kentucky near mile marker 1 in Whitley County when a 1995 Toyota struck a pickup truck and camper that were parked on the southbound side emergency lane. KSP reports are that LeFew was a passenger, the only person not wearing a seatbelt, along with 2 others plus the driver. The other 3 people were taken to an area hospital where LeFew was pronounced dead. The 37-year-old LeFew of Claxton was wanted in connection with a Craigslist scam listing for a rental home that duped more than a dozen people out of deposit money. That's according to officials with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. LeFew had 25 outstanding criminal warrants filed against her. A former presidential candidate is coming to Campbell County. Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas and presidential candidate and current Fox News host, will be campaigning for Chuck Fleischman in Hamilton and right here in Campbell counties. Huckabee's visit is scheduled for Thursday, July 19th. That's all we know so far. We do know the event is open to the public. As soon as we get the other details, we'll pass those along to you as well. We invite you to come join in the fun and help heart patient Chris Marlowe in a big benefit basketball tournament. It's called Bring the Havoc. The tournament is scheduled for today and tomorrow. In fact, it's already underway today. It'll begin tomorrow at 4:45. And that's, again, at the old rec center, which is the lower level now in the new LaFollette Library. And this benefit is to raise money for Chris to help with medical and travel expenses he incurred while traveling to Cleveland last week for heart surgery. Chris, by the way, is home. He came back home this week and continues doing well, we understand. In fact, he may even be at one of the tournament games tonight or possibly tomorrow. And this just in. We've just learned this here in the last little bit. From the LaFollette Police Department, the recovery of a large quantity of child pornography from a local storage unit here in LaFollette leads to the arrest of a LaFollette man. LaFollette Police Chief Jimmy Jeffries tells WLAF that it was that find that triggered his detectives to begin an investigation way back in November that eventually led to the arrest of Lonnie Wilson today. Now, earlier this week on Wednesday, the Campbell County Grand Jury handed down the 82-count indictment against the 52-year-old Ellison after LPD detectives presented large quantities of evidence to the grand jury. Ellison is charged with rape of a child, aggravated sexual battery, especially aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. Jeffries adds that the Knoxville Police Department's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force assisted LPD in its efforts. Ellison, by the way, remains in the county jail this evening on a $150,000 bond. Well, that's the latest news on this Friday, the 13th of July. Stay tuned for the press release from the Campbell County Sheriff's Department coming up next right here on WLAF TV-12. Time now to check the activity around the county from the past 24 hours with the Campbell County Sheriff's press release. Today there are 5 names on the docket. Amber Lee Ann Graves, age 24, of 166 Sawmill Circle, Jacksboro, violation of probation. David Ray Hicks, age 20, of 262 Little White Oak Road in Duff, driver's license law, violation of the Tennessee financial law, violation of the registration law, and speeding. 73-year-old Ronnie Gerald Irvin of 130 Carview Lane in Speedwell, aggravated assault by domestic violence. Shelley A. Keith, 31, of 118 Summers Road, LaFollette, violation of probation. And the last name on today's list is 34-year-old Louis Everett Walden of 921 West Central Avenue, LaFollette, on a capious bench warrant. Well, thanks for joining us for this portion of Channel 12 News. Our program continues here in just a moment with weathers, David Graham sports, obituaries, along with birthdays and anniversaries, all that coming up here in just moments on WLAF TV-12. Have a great weekend.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to WLAF News at 5:30. I'm John David Broyles. Time now to announce birthdays and anniversaries for this Friday the 13th. It's all brought to you by Eastside Pizza and Deli, located in the Food Lion Shopping Center. We would like to wish a very happy birthday to Julian Fuston, 4 years old today. Everybody just mentioned is now qualified to win dinner for 2 from Eastside Pizza and Deli. And the birthday winner is Rebecca Reynolds. Now, we usually mention anniversaries too, but no one is celebrating a wedding anniversary today. And today's winners for the anniversaries, Charles and Michelle Newport. Let us know who is celebrating a birthday or anniversary in your world. Just call us at 562-1450. That's it for birthdays and anniversaries. Thanks for joining us this evening. We invite you to stay tuned. Your news continues after this.